Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. And after taking a little bit of a break to look at a couple of other things, after we started to look at wave 1 of the Velocitron Speedia 500 Deluxes with Road Rocket, we're finally getting back on track with doing that, at least for today, when we look at the second member of wave 1, that being this guy. It is Diaclone Universe Roadburn, and he's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light 'em up, baby! That's right, hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member at any time. And this is Diaclone Universe, as they call it, Roadburn. Interestingly, he has Crosscut's head. And yes, this is a reuse of the Legacy Skids mold, but is it a better one? Is it a worse one? Is it about the same? Well, how about we head over to the table and take a closer look at this. So after looking at Road Rocket, which was kind of a disappointment, we had some other things come up that got in the way of me completing the rest of the deluxes from the Velocitron Speedia 500 series for Wave 1. Well, we're gonna kind of kick back into that a little bit here with the next offering, which of course is Burnout. This is from like Diaclone Universe. As a matter of fact, I believe there might be a masterpiece version that's actually called like Dia Burnout. And I could be wrong about that. Or maybe there's one upcoming called Dia Burnout. I'm not sure. You know me, I'm not an MP guy, so I'm not totally up on the uses. Nevertheless, this is a nice Diaclone colored version of the Legacy Skids mold. Of course, in package here, we can see how he is in vehicle mode. I'm not a big fan of packaging in vehicle mode, but a lot of people seem to like it. We have an image over here with a head that looks a lot like the head for Crosscut. Wraps around the side here. Over on this side, we have a nice image that's not wrapped around. You can see the whole robot, and on the back, of course, we have, yes, your product images, as we usually do with these Inside, things. We have instructions. If you know how to do Skids, you're gonna know how to do this guy. We have the exact same blue translucent axe thing that came with Skids. Same hand blaster as Skids. Same double-barreled hand blaster as Skids, and yes, they can go together like Skids if you want, because of the opening that's in the top of the single-barreled hand blaster. Looks great. And here we have Burnout with all of the things on them on the side here, up here, and over here. You know, like the accessory storage is nothing great, nothing to write home about. But that being said, I also kind of can't get angry at it because I'm pretty sure that it's pretty much what the original was like as well. So you gotta take it for what it is. That said, our guy does roll great. The paint looks great. We'll talk about that in just a moment after I get all of this junk off. So we don't need all of this, I don't think, left on. And now we can kind of focus on the look of the guy just a little bit more. So much like Skids, we have the red and white coming down the side. This is a very unassuming alt mode. We have the molded in door handles. We have the molded in like gas tank back here. On the front, pretty much the same paint as Skids, for the most part anyway, except the lower bumper here is a gunmetal gray rather than black. So I kind of like the gunmetal gray look down on the lower bumper. I assume that's paint. But this guy does also have painted taillights. That's something that Skids doesn't have. So I really like that. There's some more detail back there that certainly could have been picked out in color. And even here on the side, this back window could have been, I don't know, picked out in color, maybe made translucent, something like that. But when it's done in black, for some reason, it doesn't stand out to me as much, being left out and uncolored, because I don't know, I feel like it could be filled in anyway in black. I don't know. It doesn't stand out to me as much in black with the back windows as it does on Skids. And we still have our skylight sunroof, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, sunroof, I guess. Up top there. So, yeah, cool. In other words, there's more paint here than there is on the Skids mold. So take that for what you will. We're going to do the transformation, then we'll get into scores for the guy. We've already seen the transformation because of Skids going from robot to vehicle. In fact, we looked at Skids back in episode 976, way back in May. And now we're going to get a chance to see it going in the other direction from vehicle to robot. We begin by picking off the doors on the sides. I like that the doors open. I think that's a neat feature. They tab on really to the arms, kind of. So we pick those off. A lot of people had issues with the roof of their Skids not tabbing in, or they couldn't quite get it there. You have to have everything kind of squat in just perfect for the roof to tab in with Skids. It works okay on mine. But the roof here, infinitely easier than it is on Skids. So we come here and we pick up the roof, and if I wanted to put it down, it's really just as easy to do it, right? Like simple. So very happy about that. Then we kind of come here and we extend out the lower legs, and then we bring the waist down, and then holding onto the waist, we extend the legs all the way. Fold up the front of the shins, fold in the tires, split the legs. I'm going to stand our guy up, readjust ourselves, and finish the upper body. Okay, and for the upper body, we bring the arms forward and out to the sides. You can see the head in here now. We bring the chest down over until it snaps in. You push it down and it will snap in. The windshield is now on the back. We turn so that we have the detail on the front. By the way, that too is more paint than Skids. We bring that down, and now all we need to do is rotate the arms, and you can kind of bend them, rotate the arms, bend them, and boom, in the end, here we have Burnout in his robot mode. Now, I love this guy. His fiction is exceedingly limited. So we're going to kind of go by the, like, earliest version of him, which I guess we would say would be, like, his Diaclone type of version, but really, in terms of the character that's an Autobot, it really kind of started with Timelines, and that used the earlier generation Skids mold. And in the Timelines comic, that's the body type he has. In IDW, there's a version of him that makes a limited appearance that looks like this, and in the Speedia 500 little Japanese comic, he's part of the race, right? So it's not much fiction. I'm gonna say that the transformation is better here than Skids. I'm gonna give it a 10. I'm gonna say the look it has more paint than Skids, and I mean, I suppose you could argue that his shins, based on the earliest animation or the earliest artwork, should have some red, maybe a red line around his bumper, but it's a hard call. By the way, these can go on up here. Can go up there in the arm, or of course in his hand. Same over here, up on the arm or in the hand. And of course the axe thing can also go on his hand, or I mean you could, well, I don't think you can put it on his back really. Yeah, you can. You could use this peg up here and you could put it on his back if you didn't want it there. So, I mean, all options, right? But I digress. 10 for the transformation, because possibly we could have red on the shins and a red going around the bumper. I mean, I suppose I would say 9.75 because of those couple of missing things, but this has more paint than Skids. So if Skids was a 9.75 or a 10, this guy has to be a 9.75 or a 10. I really do like the head sculpt, the cross-cut style head sculpt, the Diaclone kind of style head is not used here, which is interesting because the earliest artwork does have him with the Skids head. So it's interesting that they're using the cross-cut head, but the Diaclone body. I'm okay with it. It's not hateful to me. Articulation for the guy. Left, right, up, down, a little, well, not much up, down. A little wiggle up, down. The door wings, they still kind of move, out of the way, kind of. Arms can go all the way around, assuming you can get the door out of the way. Shoulders are still weird. They're still on this weird joint, but I mean, look what they can do. They can go out and up all the way over his head. When you bring them down, they might do that, so minor adjustment to the shoulders. A bit of a weird design. Bicep swivel, nice and free-flowing, 90-degree elbow. Nothing at the wrist that I can discern. Waist is nice. Out to the side leg. Getting the legs go back as long as you get this out of the way. Legs go forward very tight on this guy. They were good and solid on Skids. I feel like they're even more so here. Thigh swivel. 90 degrees at the knee. And deep ankle tilt. In other words, almost everything I could want. Wrist swivel's not there. 9.75. If Skids overall is like a 9.5, if he's like the closest to perfect, even if Skids is a 10, this guy is equivalent or better. So if Skids is a 9.5, this is a 9.75. If Skids is a 10, then this guy is an 11. I feel like as much as I like Skids and as much of a success as I think Skids is, I really feel like old Burnout here is, so far anyway, the even better use of the mold based on my copy. I'm sure that that'll be a case of, results will vary, but I can't kind of argue how much I'm impressed with it. Just for interest's sake, since we've talked about Skids, here he is with Skids. I think they both look fantastic. I think it's a successful mold. This is pretty much what I always wanted. With Skids, the look is more of like a toy accurate look. I do wish that there was more blue on Skids to match the animation, but that might be kind of bland and boring, and if you wanted more blue, you could certainly go the MP route. By the way, I did double check. There is an MP of this guy, Dia Burnout. I thought that there was. I was pretty sure that there was. Now, I do have one other little thing that I'm going to show while we're here, because why not? And it was given to me by our buddy Justin from the 3D Corner. And it's on the back of Skids, and it's his little scooter. I mean, I guess you could do it in red, I guess you could do it in black, I guess you could do it in whatever you want. It's his little scooter that would go with Skids, so we're going to just take this guy out of it. He's a success, a complete success. Let's just have a look at Skids' little scooter thing that can go attached here to his back. Okay, so this is a 3D printed version of the little scooter thing that goes with the various molds of Skids. And yes, it rolls. It rolls well. Actually, that piece got to go out. I guess it rolls okay. Doesn't roll the best, but it's 3D printed. What do you expect? There is a kickstand over here, which is how it was staying up. To convert it, we open this up, and then we should be able to pick that out all the way forward like that for the little scooter, and then take this piece and we put it back in here and put the handles back. And like, there you go, there's the little scooter. It's a very simple little design. There is one piece of parts forming because of that, but it's elegant enough. It was done here in a bit of a darker blue, but I mean, you could do it in whatever color it is that suits your fancy. I think it's a neat little thing if you have access to like a 3D printer or whatever. But back to our main event here, which of course is Burnout. On the whole, fantastic. For all of the issues that I was sad about with Road Rocket, this kind of makes up for them all because he is absolutely fantastic. I feel like a lot of people, because they don't know the character or they feel like they don't need a second copy of the Skids mold, will skip this guy over, but I wouldn't, because he is really, truly excellent and he looks fantastic on the shelf next to all of the other Autobots. And here we are once again, and here he is, and like, I totally dig this. I didn't think I would. I figured I'd be like, I don't need that mold again, but like, this is a great character, great head sculpt. I think I like the colors even better than I would with Crosscut, though I kind of like the gray on Crosscut and the red on Crosscut. Granted, we're missing maybe, arguably, a little bit of red down here and a little bit of red around the bumper, but this seems very contemporary. I think the alt mode is successful. I think the transformation is smoother than it is with Skids, and I thought it was pretty smooth with Skids. And we have even more paint here on the shoulders and the tail lights most notably. This is an example of taking a mold I already enjoyed and making it better in every way, in terms of color, in terms of well, I can't say color, in terms of paint apps, in terms of functionality, which of course means articulation and transformation. Absolute win. I'm afraid that there are many who will overlook this guy because they'll say, I don't know a burnout, Diaclone universe, what's that? But don't. He's pretty great, I have to say. Let me know what you think about Speedia. No, Velocitron Speedia 500 Burnout. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member at any time. Also hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel, and don't forget, man, that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, you right there, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.